Hey Kerbal Space Friends, Rock here with another video. So yeah, 2 videos in one day. I'm happy to make them, as long as I have something to make them about. Said that before. Anyway, getting down to business. So after I posted my video, within like less than 2 hours, Inter posted a huge amount of comments, which I love and appreciate. Thank you very, very much. And he gave me some really good advice from lessons he had learned when he and Veos were doing this. So I decided to use some of his advice and some of the lessons I'd learned in working with these engines to turn this into more of a legit looking helicopter. So here is what I made. Now this looks like an actual craft, no escape pods and pilots plummeting to the ground or anything. Here's my new rotor design. So for 4 big blades like this, I needed more power, but I didn't really want to get in there and mess with the engine. So I just added more control wheels to the outside on the rotor itself, because as Inter told us, sideways they're actually even more powerful than they are just rotating. So this gives me enough power to put this thing into the air easily. Now this thing flies so much like a regular helicopter. I'm going to show you guys something kind of funny. It's so much like a regular helicopter that it runs into the exact same physics problems that regular helicopters have. So I'm going to show you what that problem is. Cut down the throttle so that the little pusher engine doesn't fling us anywhere. Turn on the SAS so it doesn't flip over. Put on the brakes so it doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to turn off the SAS on the rotor because I want it to spin. I don't want it to stay in place. Wrong way. Okay, let's turn off the SAS. Okay, there we go. We're going to use the trim to go all the way fast. Now, if you guys have noticed, it's not actually flying, and that's because the rotor is not biting yet. I have that on an action group, so I'm gonna go in here, hit 2, and boom, into the air we go. Now this thing hovers great. You can hover here all day, and it's actually picking up altitude. That's easy. Here come the problems. As I tilt forward and start picking up momentum, almost immediately the rotor twists to the right. Why? Well, now we have forward momentum. So the leading edge on the right hand side of the rotor is generating a lot more lift than the trailing edge over here because it's going backwards away from our momentum. So this is going to twist the aircraft. It's going to make it roll to the left, and it's going to make it want to pull up for some reason, and the faster you go, the worse it is. And it comes to a point at under 20 meters per second, ridiculously enough, where the craft becomes completely uncontrollable. And even with all the control wheels that I have, I cannot keep it from rolling left, and at that point I crash. But as we were talking about in the last video, Valentina will be fine. This is so low and slow that she's not going to die. So I was thinking, sitting there going like, yeah, but what good is a helicopter if all you can do is hover? You got to be able to fly. So, thought about it a little bit more, thought about it a little while more, and I thought, alright, Chinook it is. So for those of you not familiar with the Chinook, it's an old military helicopter from the United States military that solved this problem in a relatively simple way, to counter spinning rotors. So the increase in lift and loss of lift on one side is counteracted by the same on the other side. This of course puts a bunch of stress on both the engines and the body of the craft, because the rotors are actually twisting it into the air. Now this thing has power problems. I actually had to add more reactors to the rotors themselves, and even then after a while they stop. Now this thing is also way bigger than anything I made before. Those of you guys who are seeing this rotor configuration can probably guess that I had quite a bit of trouble getting them not to smash into each other, and there are some spectacular crashes with pieces of rotors flying everywhere when I got them both counter spinning and they collided in midair. I was on the ground, Then, as I'd mentioned before, I'd lucked out with that first helicopter and I had just enough lift to put it into the air. I did not, by any stretch of the imagination, luck out with this one. I've had to redesign these rotors a good 10-15 times. Just so that they're not too unbalanced, they're not underpowered, they're not overpowered, they don't run out of power before I get around. This one was a lot harder to design than the last two. But here's what I figured out you have to do to make this work. So first and foremost, we're going to put it out there. This is not anything new. We're going to pop up the decouplers. Actually do it. Come on. You can load. There you go. So away decouplers. One falls off the front, one falls off the back. Hopefully that one explodes. Nope. Okay. Lock on the brakes, turning on the lights. Lock on the SAS. Alright, so this one I have to do a little bit different. Ugh, decoupler. So I'm going to actually turn on the SAS and leave it on. Then I'm going to spin up the rotor in its proper direction, which in this case is with the Q. Again, this one has no bite right now, so just picking up speed, not actually creating a lift. And I'll let it go. So now it's already spun up as far as the trim thing is concerned. I'll spin the other one the other way. That's why it's important not to turn on the bite yet, because when I start spinning one, the other one starts spinning by itself. This one's spinning the opposite way. I'm going to turn on its SAS. They should both come to a stop after I let it go. Now I'll turn on the bite on this one. Turn on the bite on this one. Oh, that's the plane. That's the coupler. Here it is. Okay. Enable the bite on this one. So now I have both of my hands on the keyboard, one on the bracket so I can switch back and forth, and the other one on the T so I can take off the SAS, and go, and to the plane. And the game crashes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that happened. This video is not long enough anyway, so. A game reboot in the middle of the video. That is what it is, boys. So let me take this time to address another comment. Somebody asked in the comment of my video, how long do I think it'll take for somebody to use this like spinning electrical engine thing to make a tank with treads? Tank? Probably. Treads? I don't know. What could we use to actually make treads that go around a rotor? Because every time I've seen anybody make a tank, it's very similar to Veos's, what was it called? The Hell Rain? That it's a bunch of wheels that make it look like they're treads, but they're not really treads. I'm not sure how you would do actual treads. Now let's see what survived the reload of the game. Is the craft there? Are the couplers out? Are we spinning? The couplers are not out, so this is just as launched. Alright, do over. Out, brakes. Yes, they both exploded. Perfect, okay. SAS. Engine 1, SAS on. Which way does that spin? Okay, that way. Let's do this quickly. Next, SAS on, obviously the other way. Neither of them are actually moving in the air, they're just spinning around in circles. And there we go, let it go. Hit 2 to enable the actual control surfaces on the rotor. This is the actual plane. Here's the thing. Alright. T. Switch. T. Switch. And we're taking to the sky. This one, I was able to balance it almost perfectly. In straight flight, in just level flight, I don't have to touch the keyboard to keep it moving. To keep it rising. And it'll just keep up picking up altitude. Ever so slowly. So I haven't touched the WSAD keys. You can see it's pitching forward a little bit. It wants to roll back. but the roll and the yaw are staying almost perfect. It's just wobbling a little bit with the wobbling of the rotors. Now, of course, all of this beautiful stability is going to go out the window when we start moving forward, but not uncontrollably so as with the other one. So if I tilt this forward a little bit, she'll start to pick up speed. The rotor will start to wobble. This one will start pulling left. That one will start putting right, which of course, since one's in the front, one's in the back, is going to make it want to yaw left. So I'm going to have to keep it that way. There's a little bit of roll going on here. So this thing sucks to fly, but it works. It's a flyable, large-scale helicopter without big, ugly, wobbly things, and it actually has a crew on it, you know. And it can take passengers, so I'm actually quite happy with this, unflyable as it may be. And I mean, it can have no practical purpose. Where am I going to go at 7 meters per second? Might as well walk. But still, I don't know. I can slow boat tourists around the KSC if I want to, I guess. I don't know. By just pitching it forward and coming into a rolling stop, I can actually land this thing. So yeah, functioning helicopter. Now, if I was gonna go monstrous, and I do mean monstrous, I mean shield helicarrier monstrous, I could make something a bit more stable by making it a quadcopter. That's the beauty of quadcopters. All of these physics problems go away. This is why most of the simplest, cheapest flying apparatuses we see nowadays, and we will continue to see, are quadcopters. Quadcopters nullify all these problems. I might do that. I think I'm going to start running into part count issues. I'm going to be putting that many independently moving parts on one craft. For right now, I'm surprised how well I got this monstrosity to fly. I'm actually quite pleased. Now, I did not intend this to be a Chinook replica. I was just stealing the technology, but I actually love the way this thing looks. So anyway, leaving my craft to hover away. I want to thank you guys all again for watching. Special thanks to, of course, Inter for his amazing comments and inspiration of my videos as always. Having somebody with a channel the size of his watch my videos and comment on them immediately, it blows my mind. I have no idea why he does it. But thank you either way. So again, this is where I remind you guys to fly safe, and if you don't fly safe, at least fly slow. And thank you very much again. Have a good one.